What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about two big problems with Pokemon investing that I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about too much. Well, one of them people do talk about, and the second one, it's like kind of not really a lot of people talk about it too much. So, we're going to get into it. And I'm really having problems with these, me personally. Well, right now, not really too much. One of them I'm really doing pretty good with. The second one is I'm kind of seeing it become a problem as I'm continuing to buy more products and kind of keep expanding with buying more and consistently buying more and wanting to buy more. Is not really, there's a financial aspect of it, and there's a big one that this is the problem, is space of these products. Like, it's kind of it, you can only buy as much as you have space for, unless you have like places to put these, warehouses and stuff like that. Like, if you want to grow on a very, very big scale, like, you're gonna have places to put these things, because this is physical products. You know what I mean? That's the one downside to Pokemon investing and stuff like that. You have to buy these physical products, and you have to keep them somewhere safe and make sure nothing happens to them, this, that, and the other. Like, they are products. You know what I mean? Like, look, you see them right here in the back of my thing. Like, they're everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have certain places for these and to keep these things safe, because you never know what can happen to them. And also, it's just, they're physical products, so you have to have somewhere to keep them. You know what I mean? Like my closet is kind of getting big right now, and this is what I'm kind of running into right now. But I have other spaces that I can put these at. You know what I mean? And figure some different ways to kind of do this. I'm thinking of moving my whole thing out somewhere else. That'll come down the line. I'll probably make a whole video about if I end up doing that. But space. That is why a lot of people say go to like seal cases and stuff like that, because seal cases, especially booster boxes, they're only so big. You know what I mean? You can keep multiples of those, but if you start buying like loose products like booster boxes, booster bundles, and all kind of different things like this, like, you know what I mean, you have to, that takes up for space that you're actually, the products you can actually have. But some of these boxes I've gotten for cheaper. So like, I've gotten this Twilight Masquerade box for maybe like under $100 when it first came out. Paradox Rift, I got that for like 90 bucks. Paldean Fates, I got that for like smaller prices. This Lost Origin got for like 200 bucks. These products, whenever they're single, that is where you can get the best deals too, is when they're single products like this. So you might as well pick them up. If you're going to want to invest into these products anyways, you might as well pick them up if they have lower value. But it kind of takes up space for other sealed cases and stuff like that. And you have to be able to take care of these products. Like, make sure they have like a certain temperature or something like that. I don't really know exactly what temperature, as long as you keep your house kind of cool so the products don't really bend and kind of mess up and stuff like that. Like, it's a really big thing. So you have to make sure they're in a heat controlled environment. You can't just throw them in your shed or throw them in your garage, because that heat kind of messes with these products. This is, like I said, this is physical products. So especially, it's like cardboard. You know what I mean? Like, if something happens to your house where a pipe bursts or something like that, that's why people say do not keep your stuff on the ground. I got some of my stuff on the ground, but I'm kind of comfortable with that because of where it's at and stuff like that. Like, I'm okay with that. But whenever I move myself somewhere else, then it's gonna be a whole other story. It's gonna be somewhere else. But this is a big problem, is space. So make sure when you're doing this, you have plenty of space that you can actually be able to buy products and stuff like that. That's where I feel like a lot of people come into problems with, because they only have a certain amount of space. For example, like, they use their closet, but your closet's only so big. So that's why some people kind of have to be smart with their investments in the certain products that they buy. Like, I would suggest people to go just after sealed cases and just put them in your closet or wherever you want to put them, and this, that, and the other. If you don't only have a limited amount of space, just because sealed cases are the way to go, sealed booster boxes are the way to go. So those don't take up that many space. So you can fill up your closet with a lot of those sealed cases, because it's, you know what I mean, there's not that much space that it takes up for sealed product, especially cases and stuff like that. So stick with sealed cases. Only buy stuff that you know you're gonna want to hold long term, because of the limited amount of space. So I recorded most of this video yesterday, but I forgot to hit a couple of key points, so I'm gonna go over them now about space. So a big thing and part about space is, if you have a limited amount of space, you're only, like, let's say a full closet. Let's say you want to keep consistently buying every set, this, that, and the other. Over a period of time, you only have a certain amount of square footage in your closet that you have it. Like, you only have a certain amount of space that you can put these products in. So eventually, when you have a lot of products in a small amount of space, eventually you're gonna have to get rid of some of those products if you want to buy new products. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of the really big issue that you come into, and that's kind of what I'm really coming into right now. Really not too much, but I see it coming down the line just because of how much product I have in a space, and I only have a certain amount of space to put this product. So eventually, if you only have a certain small amount of space, you got to make sure you're being strict with the products you're going to be investing into and the products that you have, because if you're not and you have too much space, you're gonna have to sell some of these products to make space for other products to buy. You see what I'm saying? Like let's say, for example, like Twilight Masquerade. Let's say if my whole closet's full, I have to figure something out. I'll be like, dang, Twilight Masquerade might have went up. Or if I want to hold that, I might have to sell this. I might have to sell Paradox Rift. I might have to sell Paldean Fates. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the only bad thing about having a limited amount of space, because you can run out of space, and once you run out of space, you have to create more space if you want to keep investing into this. You see what I'm saying? And the one thing about Pokemon too is it's a long-term thing. So I want to hold all these products for at least 3 or so years. That's the minimum that I want to hold them for, or at least until they start really going up. And that takes time. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen in a year or two. So, and you can accumulate a lot in a year. Like all this stuff behind me, I've accumulated within like a year since I've been in this hobby. So I see if I want to keep going down this route that I'm going, I either have to, one, slow down, or two, kind of like consolidate what I have. So making sure, that's why I really do try to preach to buy seal cases and stuff like that, because seal cases are only so big. You see what I'm saying? You can fit multiple seal cases. What might eventually end up happening here, like all this like loose product, you see what I'm saying? It takes up space, but I could be buying seal cases to buy there. But if I had this whole thing full of seal cases, it would be like tens of thousands of dollars. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not to the point yet, but I see the time coming. So we'll see what happens. You never know. But this is just something to keep in mind if you want to get sealed product and stuff like that, and you want to start really investing in the Pokemon. Make sure you have a good amount of space, because it's going to come a point to, if you consistently are in this hobby and you're really truly like a big investor into it and you put a lot of money into investing in these products, eventually you're going to run out of space. Unless you have a whole nother area to put them in, that's a whole other story. Then that, let's say, I don't know if you have a family, that's another, you have limited space, you know what I mean? Like, there's different kind of aspects that come in this. And I wouldn't suggest, if you're really smaller with investing, unless you have like a massive portfolio, I wouldn't suggest to get like a storage unit or anything like that. You see what I'm saying? Maybe get like a little shed on your property and put like an AC unit and do that, but it's up to you. I don't know your situation and stuff like this, but this is just kind of to put this out there that I'm kind of running into, that I see potentially coming down the line, and I know other people are probably going to run into this too, especially if you're a really hardcore investor and you are putting a lot of money into this. Like, see what happens. But all right, now let's keep on going with the video. You might see me again with this next, because I'm still editing this video. Now we're going to go on to number 2. This is a really big one that I have personally kind of gotten better with as time went on, because I'm, like I've said before in a previous video, opening product is one of the biggest detriments to people with Pokemon investing, because they cannot do this long term. Because trust me, the way this product is, it just sits there and sits there and sits there. Like, you look at it every single day. Of course you want to open it, you know what I mean? Especially like you have that itch, people have that itch to open products. What I have done to face this problem better is I have been buying seal cases. Seal cases, this is what I do, and I would suggest you to do too. Buy seal cases and don't touch them. You do not open your seal cases at all. That is what you just keep to hold to invest into. I know they're a little more expensive for people, but it's definitely worth it, because seal cases, you don't open those up. Keep those sealed and don't worry about them at all. Like I said, it's more space. Like I said earlier, space, this is a really big thing. It's space too. But seal cases, you are not going to be tempted to open. I would suggest you not to. But what I would suggest you to do if you want to open products is just buy some loose packs. Like, you can buy a booster box whenever a set comes out. That's what I personally do. Buy like an ETB, do that, this and the other, and kind of enjoy the set a little bit, but don't go too crazy. You know what I mean? Because you have to set a certain allocation of your money towards investing and opening products. And the ones that you set for investing, don't touch those at all. Do not open that at all. Don't do nothing with that. Just leave it, forget it, don't even worry about it. It's kind of a bit crazy. I know it's hard. I know people want to open their products, but especially when products kind of don't really perform more, or you don't really see products really go up. Like, for example, like Paradox Rift. Like right now, Paradox Rift in the last year has done nothing at all. Like, it's kind of stayed stagnant. I feel like it's an undervalued set, like me personally. But a lot of people say, like, they're like, hey, what's this? Like, imagine like some people are probably like, that invest into Paradox Rift and thought it was going to be big, and they're like, hey, this set's not performing. I don't think it's going to do good. And they've only been holding it for a year, and they're like, I'm just going to open it. Just that, you know what I mean? That's where a lot of people fail, is because they want to open their products just because they haven't seen a big performance. But the way this hobby is over time, the sets that are gonna perform are eventually gonna perform well. It just takes time for people to kind of come around to that, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Like, just now, recently, people have just started coming around to Scarlet and Violet Air. Scarlet and Violet Air was one of the most slept on airs, I feel like, at least modern. But people are kind of coming around to it now. So I feel like it's gonna start. Different products are gonna start outperforming and stuff like that, which they already have. Most of them have. Twilight Masquerade has changed that around a lot. And if you're going to want to open product to chase cards, just buy the singles of these cards. Like, for example, like Twilight Masquerade, if you want the Greninja, just buy the Greninja. I luckily pulled it, you know what I mean? I wasn't even expecting to pull it. But like I said, take certain amount of allocation of your money. Let's say you have $500. If you want to invest $250 into sealed product, do that. Or if you want to invest $250 into Pokemon product, do that. If you want to spend $250 to open product, do that. Just set up a certain allocation and be strict with yourself about it. Don't just be like, no, it's okay, I'm just gonna open this, that, and the other. No, not at all. Don't matter how long it takes, don't matter how bad the product's performing, this, that, and the other. You have to stay on this like a very, very strictly, is just don't touch your product, don't open it. If it's for investing purposes, don't open it at all. Just leave it alone. This is a very, very big thing that people have problems with. And I have been getting better with this. Like, see, I have a lot of product that is open. Yes, I do have a lot of products open, but most of the time I see this as, once you starting to see some returns on products and stuff like that and performing well, you're like, hey, this actually works. So why don't I just keep doing this, that, and the other? That's what I've seen really. Like, for example, like Twilight Masquerade has done really good for me. 151 Japanese for me has done amazing. Like, I'm starting to see actual products that have done well. So I'm like, hey, maybe Paradox Rift can turn around. Maybe Shiny Treasures can turn around. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. So it's better to keep the product sealed. That's just how I'm looking at it, really. I would just suggest that for most people. But let me know what y'all do. Y'all think, y'all follow these 2 points? Trust me, if you don't, I feel like it's really going to be hard. Okay, so one more point that I want to come across with opening products is, this is going to be a real hard truth for somebody, and I know a lot of people aren't going to like hearing this, but this is how we are as humans, is you think when you're opening products, you're going to pull that card. Like, let's say with Lost Origin, Twilight Masquerade, you're going to pull that Greninja, you're going to pull that Giratina. 95% of the time, you're really not. If you are going to want to get it, you're going to have to spend hundreds of dollars trying to get this card. Like, for example, if you look at Cool Trainer Ryan, I know a lot of people have their things, this, that, and the other, but him, look, he literally puts out streams, and he spends hours and hours and hours chasing these cards. Like, it's insane how much boxes he's opened to try to chase some of these cards. Like, look at those people and kind of understand, it's really difficult for you to pull these cards. Like, it's not worth the time and the effort to pull these cards. Like I said, I would suggest, if you want to try to pull these chase cards, this, that, and the other, like Surging Sparks, you're going to pull a Latias that's going to come out, this, that, and the other, set a certain amount of money. Maybe like it's $100. You're going to spend $100 on a certain amount of products, $200, whatever your allocation that you want to spend on opening products, set that to the sets and stick to that. Because people have to realize the truth is, it's hard to pull these cards. Some of these cards are insanely hard to pull, and it's going to take you forever to pull it. Like, trust me, I have learned with my experience. I've opened some of these products so many times and have not pulled a chase card at all. But when I'm not looking for a chase card, I get it. It's kind of crazy how this works. You're going to pull chase cards eventually. It just takes time and consistency. The longer you're in this hobby, you're going to pull some of the chase cards you want to get. But over time, you just have to give it that time. You know what I mean? Some people just want to keep chasing that card. But it's so expensive. So I want to put this hard truth out there for people. You're not going to pull the card you want. So just stick to investing. And if you want to open some products, open a little bit. Don't go crazy with it. All right, see you on the next one. Let me know which one of these points you think was the best. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.